Mr. Ganesh, other officers on the dais, and my dear professional brothers and sisters. Matter of great pleasure for me also to be here this afternoon. It is more than second or third visit to the Chamber of Tax Consultants, and I am really thankful and obliged to give me this opportunity. Because I can honestly tell you, I am an ardent reader of your CTC news and all publications that have been published by the Chamber of Tax Consultants, and some of them are so outstanding. And even if they were issued by me 20 years before, they are finding place in my library. So compliment to all of you and the authors who are so sincerely contributing. I'll just straight away humbly request you to ask me questions on various issues, because there are 9 issues carved out by your committee to deal with. And I was continuously asked, and now I was asked that, do you have any PowerPoint presentation? And I strongly believe that I don't normally believe in PowerPoint presentation, because those are required only for those people who don't have power in their presentation. So let me straight away go. But coming to the main question, a very interesting question. If the books of accounts are kept on iCloud, what can happen? Let me reply to that question. My dear friend Sunil, whom I have great regards for, and extremely close friends. Section 120 of the Companies Act prohibits a company to maintain books of account on iCloud. You cannot keep books of account on iCloud. You have to maintain on your server. If you are maintaining on iCloud, you have to give complete details, address, and accessibility of that server. That is over Section 120 of Companies Act. Come to non-corporate SSEs. If they still maintain iCloud, and during survey, the SSE refuses or doesn't tell that yes, they are in iCloud, or doesn't give, it would tantamount that he is not maintaining it. So best thing and most advisable thing is he must download immediately, give the details of the server, and give the copies of the printed copies of the books of account which are maintained in the iCloud. Otherwise, the strong presumption would be that he is not maintaining books of account, and subsequent production saying that I was maintaining on iCloud and now I am giving with manipulation or without manipulation would not be coming to his rescue. So that's very important. Second important question which I really appreciate like this: is there any need to be satisfied before commencing an act? Should there be a doubt? Should there be a suspicion? Should there be an information? Should there be an informant? Should there be any other material to commence a survey? And answer is no. And I'll tell you a live example of Ahmedabad itself. The ADI was a very dear friend of mine who then came to Mumbai in FEMA and was a commissioner. He was earlier posted in our Ahmedabad ISG highway, which is Sarkis Gandhigarh highway, most prime locality nowadays. I'm talking of 15-20 years before. At that time, it was not that much developed. And there was 2 buildings which came up there, residential building, right on the front of the main SG highway, distorting the entire picture view of the highway. He was so upset what kind of nonsense building this builder has constructed. And he said, let me survey it. And he surveyed. And more than 2 crore rupees before 15 years they found out. So it's like, yes, you feel that there is an associate before you who is consistently declaring gross profit at 23.90%, not 24, not 23.80. Stock is always in parity with what opening stock is maintained, and there are apparent manipulation. Then there are sufficient reasons for suspicious to commence a survey. So there could be survey because I don't like your face, and it could be a successful survey because that face could reveal so many things later on. That's primary. Now then come to the 9 different topics with regard to the survey. Survey proceeding, the IT authority. So many things have been told by Mr. Deepak Bhai, which I would not repeat, but I mentioned the decisions of Kerala High Court, Madras High Court, and other, that yes, they don't have power to record the statement on both, and therefore a statement given before the survey authority is not a statement on both, and therefore is not binding. But $1 million question to be remembered is a statement given along with the material found out, along with other questions and answers which are relevant to or as significant or as other corresponding material and evidence is available. Even if you retract, will be considered to be a sufficient material to make additions. So merely saying that yes, I had given a statement during survey, it was not a statement, I am not binding on it. I made a disclosure of 25 lakhs, now I'm saying no. But there were material, there were excess stock, inventory was there, it shows that yes, your closing stock as per books or on the date of survey, opening stock at purchase minus sales less entry comes to 25 lakhs, and we counted every single item of stock and it was 50 lakhs. Therefore you disclose 25 lakhs. You can't retract. But there are material available. But nothing is found out. Cash perfectly tallied. Stock perfectly tallied. And service at noon, we have come in from morning, it's now 9 o'clock, nothing is found out. Itna mehnat kiya hai, kuch to disclose karo. And then you are forced to disclose, made to disclose 25 lakhs. That jolly one can be retracted at any given point of time. There is no other material, no evidence, no substance in that disclosure. This is what is to be remembered. And that is what I mentioned on my page 2. Page 3 I have dealt with precaution to avoid survey. I mean, it is in your hand that if you are so smart, so intelligent, so methodical, so honest, so particular, that survey will not come. But to see the bad consequences or fallouts of surveys are not there. I have mentioned various items like 10 commandments that they, should be told to the clients. What we have done in Ahmedabad, friends, is Chartered Accountants Association literally drafted a standard question answers both for survey and standard question and answer for search. These are the normal questions asked during survey and during search. So I would request Chamber of Taxation also to make those drafts because you are more experienced. Mumbai people are much smarter, richer than Ahmedabadis. So you can do that. Circulate to your clients so that unknowingly, by lack of knowledge or lack of preparations, they are not facing the dire consequences of this survey. So those
CA Association website?
No. We had circulated on the hard copy. Website and this iCloud are all invention of 2010 and onwards. These are all things which we have done earlier. But I would certainly see if we have a copy, I will send it.
Please.
Yeah. So precaution during survey also I have mentioned. Tax authorities should refrain. That I have mentioned on page. They should not remove or seize cash. They should not harass. They should not collect check. To act in a manner which is against the provisions of law. All those 10 again points for 10 commandments for department also I have mentioned. But let me tell you what was happening earlier and what is now happening. So you have to be very clear. Earlier, invariably there were threats, invariably coercion, invariable extortion of disclosure by statement. That since morning we have come, 10 of us. I told this when Madam Nigam was the DI and Asha Mehra was DI and Mr. Puri Nigam was the Chief CIT. And we had a session. And I told that, sir, your surveys and searches are like Sholay film Gabbar Singh. He said, what? He said, कितने आदमी थे? 3 और फिर भी वापिस आए खाली आए. So same questions are asked by DI. आपकी सर्वे की टीम कितने की थी? 10. एसएसजी में कितने थे? 3. फिर भी वापिस आए खाली आए. No disclosure. So that mentality that if I am conducting a survey or conducting a search and coming out without disclosure, what would my DI tell me or DG tell me? So that mentality was also forcing them to obtain disclosures. That was era 2010 and prior to that. Or I would say 2014 and prior to that. That was the reason in Ahmedabad we had TPPC, Taxpayers Protection Council. And we literally fought and filed cases. Chief commissioners and commissioners were being transferred on the complaint. There were cases of gross misbehavior by DI and DDI. We were taking up to evidences and filing complaint. So if any member of TPPC was going to EDI, he was given an EDI treatment. But that was the era. But as Mr. Deepak mentioned, there is a circular of 2003, which I mentioned on my page. There is a page 7 on the top. A subsequent circular of 2014, 9th January 2014. After that circular, I can literally tell you, friend, that they have literally stopped taking disclosures, both in searches as well as in survey. In fact, now there are situations in Ahmedabad that we or the charters are going and telling, sir, please take a statement to disclose karna. Because if I am disclosing during the course of search and also disclosing the manner in which I earned, then my penalty is lesser. And I am talking of pre-amendment. We will come to amendment later on. And same thing for survey. That yes, clear cut evidences have been found out, I have been found out in excess cash, excess stock. Let me disclose, correct my books of account, correct my situation and pay the tax. So now they are strictly on collecting evidences and interpreting evidences. So there are smart people, as my friend mentioned, they are maintaining simultaneous records. One regular books of account, second outside the books of account. Then there is a separate hard disk for that. And after every 3 months, every month, depending on the size and nature of the business, they keep on changing the hard disk. So if hard disk is not found out, there is no evidence. But if hard disk is found out, for that period, evidences are available. So SSs are also getting smarter, department is also getting smarter. From the main hard disk, if data are deleted, they have experts who can retry all the data. So they must be doing it. And they are now invariably coming with a team of experts of computer software technology people. So they know what kind of mischief could have been done and how to retrieve those data. So forget that, don't tell any clients to do this kind of thing. I'm just informing you that yes, that kind of things are happening and it can happen. So no confessions can be extorted. As I mentioned, the infraction, I have very clearly mentioned. Question was mentioned by him. When I'm giving a statement, particular case of a search, it is a statement of oath. During survey, it is a normal statement. So a statement given on oath must be retracted on oath. Therefore, affidavit. So if I'm filing an affidavit and say in the name of the God, I hereby state that the statement recorded on so and so day was taken out of coercion and influence threats, or because I was exhausted, etc. And it is duly notarized, it is sufficient. The weightage between magistrate and notarized is that magistrate would never indulge in predating. But unfortunately, notarized were being named accordingly that they can give you the notarized date and stamp the date you want. Now that situation is changed. Now there are a lot of controls and checks and balances. And therefore the weightage of notarized affidavit qua magistrate affidavit was made differently. But now that is not so. So once you are giving a retraction on stamp paper, mentioning the same on oath, duly notarized, it's a sufficient declaration. And 2, as mentioned, I have said Gujarat High Court decision and the tribunal decision of Kantilal Sisha also, it must be done at the first immediate possible hours or days or moment. You cannot wait, let me think, should I continue this disclosure or not? Let me see my liquidity position, am I able to pay the tax or not? Let me see what my other friends have done, whether they have paid tax, identical facts or not. If they have not paid, why should I agree? For example, in Benji stock, many SSGs in Benji stock can agree, they have paid. And there are many who say nothing doing. I have purchased in demat, I have sold in demat. See the market price, when I purchased in demat account it was 1 rupee, when I sold in demat account it was 500 rupees, what point I have done? If that man has written down, received 5 lakh from Mr. X in cash, 4,90,000 given by way of profit, it is his writing. It's not my writing. And you have tribunal decision, more than 7 from Mumbai Tribunal, confirmed by Mumbai High Court also, that such additions cannot be made. So that retraction would be very important, that yes, it was obtained in such a manner, in such a situation, that you were not competent to give a proper, correct disclosure. And therefore, as I mentioned, as was mentioned by my friend, if you are exhausted, if you are tired, or you are not habituated to go to sleep late night, I can give you my own example. My next door neighbor in those years were Kasande Patel of Nirma. My house and his house were just opposite. And when the search took place, I was called immediately. But all officers knowing me, just will be please there, but don't be there as a witness. And I said fine. And I tried to help Kassan Bhai as also the officers. And at night, Kassan had a habit of having his dinner at 9 and going to sleep at 10. And for all 365 days, he have khichdis. He doesn't have fancy food at night. So even to search officer, he said, I am having khichdi, I will serve you khichdi only. If you want other food, you buy the same at your cost. And I will go to sleep at 10 o'clock. You do whatever you like. So entire search party, including myself, we have a whole night, but he was fast asleep. So there is no need that you should be with the search party all throughout and make yourself available as and when they start asking the questions. If you are exhausted, if you are tired, if you are not in a mental state to give the statement, to can say, sorry, I'm exhausted, I'm having blood pressure, I'm having anxiety, I'm tensed, whatever you feel. Record my statement after 4 hours or 5 hours. You can't say record my statement after 1 week. So after you are reasonably comfortable, your statement can be recorded. So this is very clear, and by and large, such people, such party or survey party are accommodating the SSC in such a way. Except when the person is absolutely fit, even if he is asked to go to sleep, he is not going to sleep, and even if he has no blood pressure, he is running and still he says, I have blood pressure. Doctor is called, blood pressure is absolutely 120, 80, and still he says no. Those are the different situations. Then some pressure or some force or some request could follow and statement can be recorded. But we are talking in the normal situation that no such problem could be taken care of. So confession cannot be extorted. After 2014, I don't know, even in Mumbai, there are cases where disclosure are now being taken forcefully, and survey party or such party are now extremely cautious that let us bring and take whatever materials are available. Coming to the very next important point is that yes, books of accounts cannot be impounded. Whatever is there, they are stamping. For 15 days, they can keep maximum, then they have to return. You don't want to impound the books of account. The real practice is that yes, after the survey is over, they go back to the survey either in the investigation week or the range. After verifying whatever the material or the statement, 3, 4, 5 days later on, they ask for the books of account. And at that time, they feel that yes, to justify the statement recorded or material available which is not corresponding or matching with the books of account, they can impound. There is no illegality in that. That impounding of the books, asking the assessor to bring in the department and then impounding is certainly not illegal, and they are within the powers to impound the same, as Mr. Talati also mentioned. So, as we do certain things practically, they are also doing these things practically. And okay, if Act does not allow me to impound in the premises, let me use the other powers under 131 and impound the books. So that's with regard to the impounding of the books. The infraction is over.
Premises also they can impound.
Certainly. For 15 days, certainly, after the amendment, before 7 years before. But I would be happy if there are questions. So, unlike in the earlier session where Chairman requested not to ask questions, I'll be more happy if you are asking me questions during continuation of my presentation, so that doubts are clear. Then comes the question, entries in the books of account of various types of declaration. Whether you have declared based on your books of accounts or declaration is per se, independent of that. So that what could be various kind of entries in the books of account. Your purchases are inflated, you are not in a position to show the purchase bills, or purchase bills are prima facie bogus. You know, when bogus purchase bills are obtained, survey party can easily find out the serial number are 1, 2, 3, 4. They are not folded, crisp, ready-made bills are available which you have filed. So this is a number of situations. There could be suppression of sales, stock is not there, whereas result is that the amount of sales which you have recorded in the books of account is much less, meaning thereby you have sold outside the books. But two important things all chartered accountants and tax accountants should remember is there is a difference between excess cash found out and excess stock found out vis-a-vis short stock or short cash found out. If there is excess stock, if there is excess cash, it is clear it is outside the books and in turn requiring disclosure unless you are in a position to show that yes, the goods have come but purchase bill have not come because I have ordered in advance. The system is that he sent me the pro forma bill or the main bill subsequently and therefore it has remained. This kind of clinching evidences are available, fine. Otherwise the presumption is they are unaccounted purchase, unaccounted cash and therefore requires appropriate disclosure. But in case of shortage, what could be the things? Your books of account shows you have a stock of 1 crore and physical stock is 70 lakhs. 30 lakh is shortfall. That 30 lakh is not your unaccounted income. Only the gross profit on that is unaccounted income. Because you have sold that goods. The recording of the sales remain knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally. And therefore, the gross profit on that 30 lakh is required to be disclosed. If you pass the appropriate entry in the books of account, later on, recording that sales, automatically the GP would be reflected in the books of account. No need to have further additional disclosure on that. Similarly, by cash on hand, you say, yes, I have sold the goods, I have received the sale proceeds in cash, which I will to be recorded, and therefore there is. For shortage of cash, that situation is different. There is a question I was looking at the last question answer asking, being asked to KK and KS. What about if cash found is short? Cash on hand as per books is 10 lakhs and only 1 lakh is found out. Can department say 9 lakh you have advance outside the books to X? Answer is certainly no. There cannot be such presumption unless, yes, a loose paper is available. 5 lakhs to Ketan by 5 lakhs to Iteshmi, and it corresponds with the fact that yes, your book shows 10 lakhs and real cash available is only 1 lakh, therefore you have paid that cash out of your cash on hand. What would happen to Fusti and SS and T is a separate issue, but there is a corresponding material available. But if no such material is available, presumption cannot be taken. They would ask also that as per the books of account, your cash on hand is 10 lakhs. We are now finding out, please confirm cash on hand available at your business by only 1 lakh. What do you have to say about 9 lakh of rupees? This question will certainly ask. Here comes that question. Is there a need of a presence of chartered accountant or tax audit at that time? No, at that time you can't say that for the shortage of 9 lakh I ask my CA and reply. You are only person, you are your accountant in the true knowledge of the facts and affairs of your business. You have therefore to answer. The answer could be, if you have spent, you have taken it to home, you have taken it to bank in locker, it could be anything. Now I am not suggesting say accordingly, but it could be anything. And therefore shortage of cash need not necessarily again result into the disclosure of it. That is what I am trying to tell you in nutshell. That
इसमें अगर कोई जवाब नहीं दिया व्यापारी ने, so what would be the consequences? Because nowadays those are happening because of demonetization.
I'll come to that aspect later on. Demonetization में कैश नहीं मिलती है और ज़्यादा कैश मिलती है तो क्या होता है? For example, ये जो क्वेश्चन पूछा था, survey converted into search. सूरत में Mr. Bhajiawala, so the biggest person. We started with a search, a survey, and then immediately converted to search because they found huge cash, both old notes and new notes. So, coming to fundamental questions, even if now on 7th January, old notes are found out above 10,000, the government is very clear you cannot keep it. So there is no question of any action against that SSD or Income Tax Act, but under Money Laundering Act or other provisions of the Act, the appropriate actions can be taken. If you are not in a position to say from where did you get this new cash on hand, again there is an involvement of money laundering. I'll tell you how. All throughout, the withdrawal from the bank is allowed or was allowed at 24,000 rupees maximum. Now, the survey party finds out a bundle of 2,000 rupees, serial number 1 to 100, 2 lakh rupees. Maybe 2 bundles or 1 bundle or 5 bundles. You cannot say that I have been withdrawing this from bank account daily 24,000. So if you have withdrawn 24,000 on Monday, it will be from 1 to 24. And then on next Monday, it can't be from 25 to 51. Here you have got from 1 to 100. Therefore, you have not withdrawn from the bank. Therefore, this money has come from any other activities which would justify the presumption of Money Laundering Act. On the PMLA also, Prevention of Money Laundering Act is not that simple. Because criminality of the action has to be first proved by the department that yes, you have been involved in some activities, unfair activities, anti-national arms, smuggling, trafficking in drugs and all that. But that's a different topic altogether. So those kind of situation also would be affected. But coming to a question that yes, even now, if cash is short, there is no other option. But if you are in a position to say yes, I have at my residence in survey, you have to bring it from the residence and move it. If you say in the bank locker, they will say okay, we are waiting, bring from the bank locker, and you approve. If not, the only option is you have to say I have spent it, and you reduce your cash. So your official cash on hand, your official wealth will be reduced to that extent, but will not invite any penal action or not invite any additions. Hope I am clear. Now come to entries in the books of account. I already mentioned on page 7. Question is, there is no cash on. Such entries can be by way of increasing record or correct sales are already stated, stock is extra or purchases are inflated. Both situations, the entries could be matched with on the factual aspects and then the impact of statement recorded, material seized and entered in the books of account would be relevant. Therefore, all those, my dear friends, who are having clients who are part-time accountants, this is very important. Because part-time accountant feels they are more smart than chartered accountant. They advise clients, reduce your stock, debit this expenditure, if cash is short, show in the name of Mr. Shah, Mr. Patel, and then the moment I withdraw from the bank, I will debit. You know that dirty practice for years old practice, part-time accountants are still unfortunately continuing. So they are to be advised that yes, whenever such situations are there, the books of account at least should be written by him on a regular basis, weekly basis or 3 days, twice in a week, that regular books of account must be written. The books of accounts are not written for 1 month or 2 months because part-time account was too busy for writing his account for another 2 clients and your was the last priority. Your client will have to face the music. So, books of account being written regularly, which I said, I have also mentioned in our advice to the client, those 10 commandments. You must insist to your clients that please write books of accounts regularly. It is the rarest of rare case that writing of books regularly would be against the SSE as compared to non-writing of the books of accounts. So that is extremely important and we have to convince those, particularly now that books of accounts are written on tally. There are many professionals, particularly doctors, engineers, architects, etc., who feel that why should I pay 10,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees per month? I am smart enough or intelligent enough to write on my own, not knowing sometimes the mistakes committed.